Hey Lions fans! We have a big story today involving none other than our head coach, Dan Campbell, and some pretty serious events that happened earlier this year. Before we dive into today's news, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. So, we all love Dan Campbell's fearless coaching style, right? His aggressive play calling and passion on the sidelines are a big part of what makes this team so exciting to watch. But not everyone was a fan of his decisions last season. In fact, things got so intense that Campbell and his family ended up moving out of their home because of it. Let's break down what happened. It all started late last season after the Lions suffered a tough 1-point loss to the Dallas Cowboys in Week 17. Emotions were running high, especially for the fans, but one teenage fan took things too far. Frustrated with Campbell's play, this young fan found the address of the family's home, and what did he do? He posted it on Snapchat for the world to see, along with a not-so-friendly message calling Campbell an idiot trying to do this. Yeah, not cool. After that post, contractors actually showed up at Campbell's house, thinking they had been hired to do some work there. That was just the beginning of a series of incidents. Things got even crazier after the Lions' heartbreaking loss to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. With Campbell and his wife in California for the game, fans started showing up outside his house. His daughter and her boyfriend were the only ones in the house, and let me tell you, it got pretty tense. The boyfriend actually had to go out to his car and flash his headlights, hoping to scare people away. When that didn't work, Campbell and his wife told his daughter and boyfriend to get out of the house, just to be safe. Can you imagine? A coach's family having to deal with something like that after a game. Now, how did the address get out in the first place? NFL security got involved and tracked it down to the same teenage fan, a classmate of Campbell's daughter. Apparently, he was so upset about a game call that he decided to post the address publicly. Thankfully, police determined that no crime had been committed, but the damage had already been done. Campbell's wife, Holly, was especially concerned that fans might target the house again when Dan was out of town for games. Fast forward to 2024, and the Campbells decided it was time for a change. They sold their home in Bloomfield Township and have already moved to a new place in Oakland County. Their old house is under contract, and by the looks of it, the whole ordeal is behind them. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Has this changed Dan Campbell's love for the Lions fan base? Absolutely not. In fact, he had nothing but love for all of you when he spoke about the situation. I love our fans, Campbell said. The fans are unbelievable. This city, there's no place I'd rather be or any team I'd rather coach. You've got to respect that, right? Even after all this craziness, Campbell still sees Detroit as the best place to be. And honestly, that's what makes him such a perfect fit for this team and this city. So, Lions fans, what do you think? How do you feel about what happened to Dan Campbell and his family? Do you think the fandom went too far, or do you think emotions just got the better of people? Switching gears, we all know how important Frank Ragnow is to the Lions' offensive line. He's been an absolute warrior out there, holding down the center position like a boss. But now, we have some concerns, as Ragnow is reportedly dealing with a partially torn pectoral muscle. Coach Campbell shared some information during his radio appearance on 97.1 The Ticket, and let's just say it's not the kind of news we wanted to hear. Campbell, in his usual matter-of-fact way, didn't sugarcoat it. He was quick to point out how tough and stubborn Ragnow is, saying, "Frank is hard-headed, he always wants to go." And that's something we love about Ragnow, right? He has that grit and determination that personifies what it means to be a Lion. But Campbell made it clear that they're still figuring out what the best course of action is for Ragnow and the team. It sounds like a decision could come later this week, depending on how Ragnow feels as we get closer to game day. Here's the thing, Ragnow actually played through part of this injury last week, which says a lot about his resilience. But as Campbell said, we'll do what's best for him and what's best for us. It's clear that while Ragnow is eager to be out there, the coaching staff wants to make sure they don't rush him back too soon and risk further injury. So what does this mean for the Lions heading into their game against the Seattle Seahawks? Well, if Ragnow can't play, the team has a few options. They could move Graham Glasgow back to center, which he's more than capable of handling, or they could bring Michael Nees off the bench. Nees has practiced primarily at guard, but he's been cross-training at center, so he has the versatility to step in if needed. The big question for us Lions fans is whether Ragnow will miss Week 4 or beyond. Recovery times for a partially torn pectoral can vary greatly depending on the severity of the tear. NFL Network even mentioned that Ragnow is a week-to-week, so it's really up in the air right now. All we can do is wait and see how things play out later in the week. But let's talk about the bigger picture here. Ragnow's injury is definitely concerning, but it also highlights how deep the Lions roster is. With guys like Glasgow and Nees ready to step up, it shows that this team is built to handle adversity. And you know Dan Campbell will make sure the best decision is made for both the player and the team. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Should the team play it safe and rest Ragnow until he's fully healed, or should we trust his tough guy attitude and let him decide when he's ready? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, let's talk about that crazy hook and ladder play from Week 3 against the Arizona Cardinals. It was one of the most exciting moments we've seen all season, and I'm going to break it down for you. The play started with Amon-Ra St. Brown catching a quick pass from Jared Goff. What looked like a simple wide receiver screen turned into a masterpiece of misdirection as St. Brown lateraled the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, who then took off and turned it into a huge gain. It was pure magic, and it worked perfectly thanks to the design of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and the flawless execution of our guys. Now, for those of you thinking, hey, haven't we done something like this before? You're right. This play may remind you of the hook and ladder the Lions ran late in the 2022 season, where St. Brown lateraled DeAndre Swift. But this one was different. While the concept is similar, the execution this time involved less route development and more focus on getting our offensive linemen in front to open up the lane. What made this play so special was the way the Lions set up the Cardinals' defense. They used a 4-wide, 11 personnel look that the Lions have been running regularly this season. The key here is that the Lions ran a very similar play just a week earlier, making the defense think they knew what was coming. The alignment was identical, and Ben Johnson knew the Cardinals would recognize it from film study. But this time, the Lions ran that lateral, and the Cardinals had no idea what hit them. And let's talk about Budda Baker, the guy everyone thought could blow this play. All week, the Lions coaching staff talked about how dangerous he is. He's fast, physical, and has a nose for the ball. But the Lions were smart. They ran the play to the opposite side of the field, away from Baker. Still, Baker was caught looking at St. Brown, and 2 missteps later, he was completely out of position to stop the play. And what about Gibbs? How did he get so open? It's all in the design. Gibbs starts the play like he's going to block, even squaring his shoulders as if he's helping to protect the pass. It was the perfect sell, and when he got through the A-gap and turned on his speed, no one on the Cardinals even knew he was in the game. It was absolutely brilliant. But let's not forget Sam Laporta, the unsung hero of this play. He ran a vertical route that took another Cardinals defender, Jalen Thompson, completely out of the play. Laporta even held his block for a full 4 seconds, giving Gibbs the space he needed to make the play. He paid the price, though, when Baker came flying in late and crashed into his legs, but Laporta's contribution was crucial. Okay, Lions fans, what do you think? Was this the most exciting play of the season so far? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Lions news and film reviews. Go Lions!